Welcome to Tablenauts. My name is Max, and things might look a little different. We're doing something new today, not only in form and format, but also in content in general. I don't know if you're going to like it. Hell, I don't know if I'm going to like it. But we're going to try something new, and I'll give you a couple reasons. We're going to take a look back at my top 10 board games of all time that I recorded nearly 2 years ago. Now, it's been a long time since we've done one. It's been a long time since I've even aggregated a list. So I want to take a look back, a step back in time, see what I thought about the games then and where they might currently rank. Again, haven't ranked any in a while, so I don't know exactly where they're going to be. And of course, we've changed up the studio as well. We've now got a little more casual setup for something like this, if it works. I don't know. Normally it's supposed to be more than just me here, but today it's just me. And we have our table when we're actually doing something that involves a table, like a board game playthrough or something. But I haven't played many board games lately. Things have been wild. We brought home baby number 4, baby Noah Jane. She is great. Everything is lovely. But since literally the day we brought her home, our household has been filled with sickness, from stomach bugs to pink eye, so haven't been able to play many board games. Been watching a lot of movies, and I'm going to take this time to plug our podcast. If you're not aware, we have a podcast on all podcast platforms called Board Game Box Office, a Tablenauts podcast. If you like board games, if you like movies, or if you just like Tablenauts, that's the place to check it out. Honestly, I'm loving it so far. We're having a blast, and we've got a lot of excellent feedback, looking to improve and make even better podcasts moving forward. So, pardon the interruption, pardon the animals. This new setup is going to be conducive for both cute and chaos, but we're going to take a step back in time and review my top 10 games of all time that I recorded over a year, I think a year and a half ago by this point in time. So I want to say it was June of 2021? It was May 18th of 2021. So nearing 2 years now. We're going to look at a top 10 board games of all time. So we're going to start off with number 10. I'm not going to worry about Doolins. I'm not going to react to Doolins. Doolins are Doolins. There's no need to react to them. Number 10 of all time is Crokinole. So that's actually right behind me. I'm not sure if you can see it. My own, very own Crokinole board. I love this game. Crokinole is a tough game to rank, however. I would say it has not fallen. If anything, it's just stayed consistent, stagnant. But it might have... It hasn't fallen, but it might have fallen out of the top 10. It hasn't fallen in, like, my estimation. But with playing more board games, I do think it's possible it's not in the top 10 anymore. It's just really hard to rank something like that. It's up there with, like, the strikes and the monikers as far as something that's just incredibly difficult to pair up against the Spirit Islands and the Dune Imperiums. Like, how do we even compare? How do we rank these games? So I don't know if Crokinole is in my top 10 anymore, but I still think very, very highly of that game. You don't need to worry. I'm not a Crokinole hater these days. I do have Karuka, but the board that I bought had a busted up Lazy Susan, and I have yet to find a suitable replacement, so I haven't really been able to play it yet. But that is like a mix of carom and snooker. If you're in the UK, I think you have easy access to these, or, well, you can get them. If you're anywhere but the UK, good luck. I don't know how I found someone on Facebook Marketplace selling it, but I did, and I had to snag it. So Crokinole's still a great game. Not sure where it's going to rank in the newest top 10, but still pretty darn good game. Feel good about that one. Now, my number 9 is Monikers. Okay, excellent pick. Again, just talked about it. I just said Monikers is going to be a difficult game to rank. But honestly, though, I don't see myself making a top 10 where Monikers isn't in it. I just don't think that's possible. So it is a tough game to rank. It is a tough game to compare, again, to the Dune Imperiums, the Imperials, the Gloomhavens, whatever. But I don't foresee myself making a top 10 list that excludes Monikers. That game is just my favorite party game of all time. I adore it. I love it. Every time we play it, it's just a riot. So that's not going anywhere. Confident. Good pick, Max. Good pick. Old Max doing some good stuff. Now, my number 8 game of all time is... Let's see. Where is it? Quacks of Quedlinburg. Yup, that one's fallen hard, actually. That one is... Whew! That one might not be top 20 anymore. It might not be top 30 anymore. I'd have to actually sit down on Pub Meeple and rank these to tell you for sure. But, I mean, that game... was obviously my number 8 game of all time for a moment. And now I don't know where it would be. It's still good. I still really like it. I think it's a good game, but I went from playing it pretty regularly. All these board games probably fell when I went from playing them with my family fairly often to nearly none at all. Board games have just been hard to table with the family now that we have 4, or it was 3 kids running around at the time. It's just used to be those 2 could entertain themselves, or the 2 oldest could entertain themselves while we play a game, or the 1 obviously, or when they were a baby even more. And now that we get more and they're all varying ages, it's just like we used to have an hour or so after dinner to play games with my family. Not anymore. It's just chaos. It doesn't happen. So I do think Quacks of Quedlinburg is a great game, but I believe I replaced it with Cubitos, and then I replaced Cubitos and Quacks with Wonderland's War, which, to clarify, I don't think fit the exact same category. If you like one of the others, I think you absolutely should continue to do that. I don't think Wonderland's War replaces Quacks for the average person. For me, though, if I'm going to spend 60, 90 minutes playing Quacks, I'd rather spend 90, 120 minutes playing Wonderland's War. And I think it's just a better game, and it gives me more of the strategy and the area control that I love, and the drafting. They're both great games, but for me now, Quacks is not even sniffing my top 10. So that's a big fall for me personally. Ugh, another big fall. This one hurts. Number 7 is Cosmic Encounter. Now, I still own that game. Obviously, it's right here. Cosmic Encounter is an incredible board game. One that I hadn't played in probably almost 2 years until several months ago. We sat down and played a couple games of it, and I was quickly reminded as to how much I love it. It's chaos, it's fun, it's lighthearted, it's negotiation, almost anything goes. It really is an incredible board game for me and my friends. I don't think it's a game that is going to fit every single group. It might be a smidge group dependent, but for me, I love that game. But I don't know if it's top 10. I don't know if it's even top 20. That would take, let me take a segue and just say ranking things is hard. You see, we're actually about to talk movies on Board Game Box Office, and I'm trying to rank my favorite games of 2022, or movies, and my favorite movies of all time, and that stuff is just difficult. And ranking games is no different. I find it so incredibly hard to rank games. Where do I put this game that meant so much to me that I haven't played that much lately, and maybe is a little simpler and luck-based and table talk oriented than actual mechanic oriented? But I don't know. I doubt it's in my top 10. It's probably in my top 20. Cosmic Encounter is great. I adore that game, but it is just a tough one to rank. Now, before I move on to my number 6, special shout out, Foster the Meeple. Check them out if you haven't already, wearing their merchandise. And of course, please, if you're enjoying the video, like, subscribe, comment, and absolutely please check out Board Game Box Office if you haven't already. I'm really proud of the content we're making over there. Hello, Draco. Yeah, Draco says do it too. I don't know if you can see him, but he's clawing at my back. So thanks for the quick segue, self-promotion. My number 6 was Root at the time. Remy, don't start growling about that. At the time, Root was my number 6. This has seen a roller coaster, because if you asked me 5-6 months ago, which would have been a year after recording this, where Root was, number 1. Hard, fast, number 1. At this point in time, I think it's my number 2, maybe number 3. I think it's my number 2, but possibly my number 3. Things have shifted. I've played a lot of new games that are new to me. A couple of my new to me games in 2022 actually instantly shot up. My number 1 and number 2 or 3, flip-flopping with Root, were games that I had never played until 2022 and just instantly fell in love and have been admiring every single time I return to it. So Root has shot up from 6 to at least number 3, if not more likely number 2. Excellent game, but I think it should be said, since recording this video, I've probably played a physical copy of Root 2, maybe 3 times. I do 95% of my root playing on the app, which is a shame. I think it's a worse game on the app than it is in person, but it is a game that I actually play on the app, and a game that just doesn't really get played at all in person. So, if I had to take app root or no root, I'm taking app root. It helps that I'm on a 2-game win streak. So shout out to Kyle, Jeff, Doolin, and Sam at Lord of the Board for being privy to my 2-game win streak. So thank you very much. Let's try and make that 3. Number 5 for me is, that's a spicy one. I like it though. Number 5 for me is Cosmic Frog. I actually have it right here, but one hand's busy with the computer, one hand's busy petting Remy because he demands all the attention. Cosmic Frog is by Devious Weasel Games, designer Jim Felly. Weird, wacky, area control, asymmetric board game. I adore it. It's going to be a tough one to rank. I would still say top 10. It might be lower on the top 10 because it's not one that I play that regularly, but it is probably still top 10. I love both the actual gameplay and the wild and wacky theme, and there is an expansion coming out soon which introduced some new frogs and some, in my opinion, much welcome mechanics that I think is going to change it up for the better. Really excited for that, Jim, so thank you for producing an incredible game. Big fan of Cosmic Frog. Check it out if you haven't already. Again, probably falling from number 5 to the lower end of top 10. But I think when we do our top 10 next time, I think it'll still be there. Yeah? Yeah? I told you. This setup is going to be conducive for cuteness, like so, and also chaos, because he is just whining at Draco right now. Granger's off camera. That way, it's chaos. Welcome to my life. That was number 5, which was Cosmic Frog. Number 4, okay, big time. Number 4, Spirit Island. It's a great game. Great game. Easily still... I was about to say easily still top 10. And then I caught myself. Man... I don't know, dude. Stuff's hard. It's probably still top 10. I love Spirit Island. But, much like Root, much like Cosmic Frog, much like a couple other games we'll talk about here in a minute, Cosmic Frog, Spirit Island is a game that I've played one time in the past 2 years. We did actually talk about Spirit Island on the Board Game Box Office podcast. And it was one that Doolin and I recently played. By recently, I mean several months ago. And we're shocked at how easy it was. We realized how much better we've gotten at board games because we used to think that Spirit Island, no adversaries, no difficulty whatsoever, was really tough. And when we played it 6 months ago, we cruised through the no scenario, the no adversary game we played. It was a cakewalk. And I think it's just a testament to how much better we've gotten at board games and how much better we've gotten at like understanding each other and kind of what we're going to do in a cooperative setting. Absolutely adore Spirit Island. Not sure where it would fall. I'm going to go with my answer, much like Cosmic Frog. It's probably towards the lower end of a top 10, but it's still probably there. My dogs, man. My dogs. I'm sorry if you don't like these dogs. If you do like these dogs, then good. More power to you. Ooh, spicy. Spicy one. My number 3 of all time, Kingdom Death Monster. It's not anymore. Now, let me clarify before I receive comments. Actually, you know what? No, go ahead and type out your aggressive comment right now. Appreciate it. Algorithm thanks you. But Kingdom Death Monster is an awesome game that I adore and I love so much. But it's also a massive big box campaign game that I just didn't play. I doubt I played Kingdom Death Monster once since recording this video. I bet it was my number 3, and I bet in this video, if I was listening to it, that I said, I haven't played this in a long time, but I still love it so much, and it's the same thing. I haven't played it in forever, but I still adore it. That said, I culled it. I don't even own this anymore. I was not going to play it. I currently own Aeon Trespass, which is another one that I'm considering culling, but I want to try it out, more story-based Kingdom Death Monster, I think. And Kingdom Death Monster was just not going to hit the table. It was just not going to be played. I mean, it wasn't, literally. It wasn't like it was not here to even try. It's been here for forever. We haven't played it in about 2 years, if not 3. And I just adore that game, but it doesn't even sniff the top 10 now. Not because the game itself fell, but just because, like, I can't put a game in my top 10 games of all time that I haven't played in 3 years. I just don't think I don't think I can do that as a person. I don't think that I can do that. So number 3 game of all time, Kingdom Death Monster, definitely not anymore. Okay, I know what these next two are. I don't even need to look at the video. My number 2 game of all time when recording this video was Gloomhaven. And that's up there. But again, don't think I've played this game at all since the recording of this video. I don't know. I used to play it multiple times a night. I mean, we were playing Gloomhaven multiple times a night. What am I saying? Multiple times a week. We were playing Gloomhaven 2 to 3 times a week. And then I was playing with my roommate at the time, Eric, and I think he just kind of fell back into WoW or something, and then he eventually moved out, and he just never got back into it. It's fine. It's fine. Great game. It's definitely still top 10, because even though I haven't played it in forever, my God, was Gloomhaven just life-changing at the time. I mean, to me, it was everything I ever wanted and more. Now I have Frosthaven, and I'm probably going to call it. I don't know. It's tough. I know it's, the same formula, so I kind of, on one hand, I'm like, well, I've already played it. Why do I need to play it again? But on the other hand, I know there's way more to it, and I really want to play the sequel to one of my favorite games of all time. But I also know that I can just play it online with somebody eventually, whether that be through Tabletop Simulator or when the app actually comes out eventually. I mean, not that that's actually been officially announced. I'm just, thinking ahead. But I don't know about Frosthaven. The Gloomhaven, excellent game. Good pick past Max. Still, it's not my number 2 anymore, but it's up there. And then my number 1 at the time was this boy right here, Cthulhu Death May Die. And that is absolutely still top 10. Has not fallen much at all. I would probably put Death May Die. I mean, again, I have not sat down and ranked my games on Pub Meeple. I can tell you what the top 3 are. I'm not gonna, but I could. But I don't know where it sits. I would say 5 or 6 is probably where Death May Die sits. If not 6. If not even 4. Maybe even 4. It's not my top 3, because I know my top 3. But past that, it's up there, for sure. Death May Die is an incredible experience. If you're looking for like a dungeon crawl game that is built off of like one-shots and one-offs, there's no campaign element in Death May Die, and I think that honestly adds to my enjoyment. I would love for there to be elements of your characters and the story that kind of fold over and over and into each other, but at the same time, it not being a campaign and it being one-shot, sit down, play it, be done, it means it gets tabled a whole lot more often than those campaign games. So I cannot think of the top 10 off the top of my head. Crokinole, Monikers. Yep, I'm already losing it. I already lost it. Crokinole, Monikers, Cosmic Encounter, something else, Root. Why am I even trying to do this? Spirit Island, Cosmic Frog, Spirit Island, Gloomhaven, Death May Die. Cosmic Frog, Spirit Island, Gloomhaven, Kingdom of Death Monster, Gloomhaven, Death May Die is top 5. 6 was Root. 7 was Cosmic Encounter. 8 was, I don't know. 9 was Monikers. 10 was Crokinole. I was close. Whatever number 8 is. Quacks. That's why I forgot it. I don't even play that game anymore. It sucks. I'm just kidding. That's a hyperbole. Quacks is still a good game. But yeah, there's my top 10 from over a year and a half ago. Almost 2 years. Overall, pretty pleased with it. 2 years later, and not a lot has changed from a taste perspective, but I've just played a lot more games and had a lot of time passed, which has allowed me to better evaluate those games that I don't and was unable to get played. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you liked the video, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It really means a lot to us. And of course, one more shout out to Board Game Box Office. If you like movies, if you like board games, or if you don't care about either of those, but you just like us at Tablenauts, I really encourage you to check it out. I think Granger is going to come say hi before we end the video. She hasn't been here the whole time. Hi, Granger. Thanks for stopping in, you sweet thing. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time. Oh, now you're coming too? You just can't handle me petting any other animal. You can't handle it. You're laying down, then I pet Granger, and now you're like, ooh, pet me too. I know. I love you both. I love you both. Sweet thing.